What is enlightenment? Enlightenment is simply removing the ego and the mind so that one can see reality exactly the way it is. It is simply seeing without obstruction. Some people are enlightened and they don't know it, but far more think that they are enlightened, but they are not. They have seen glimpses of the real thing, but the state is not permanent. My work is to remove layers and layers of ego, mind, and false conditioning, so that what was already there can emerge naturally. You have been blinded by the mind. You have been blinded by the ego. But through meditation, we can remove those layers of false self. The way to enlightenment is through meditation. The way to enlightenment is love. But one cannot love unless they can be meditative. One cannot fully love with the barrier of the ego and the mind. One cannot experience pure love when they are burdened by the self. So undo the tremendous burden of the false self and awaken to the pure awareness that you actually are. This is meditation. Not a habit to make you more effective in society. It is a method to bring you to the deepest, fullest, purest version of yourself. Beyond meditation, there is emptiness. There is an empty heart. And from that empty heart comes all real wisdom. In that emptiness, there is music. There is harmony. There is song, dance, and play. Everyone is looking for the same thing. They are looking for freedom beyond ego and mind. Meditation is the way to this freedom. Enlightenment is this freedom. It's total freedom from the false character that you have developed in your mind. You can simply put that person down and return to your natural, childlike self. When people approach enlightenment, they think they need to adopt this new spiritual character. Enlightenment is dropping all of the false characters that you have accumulated over the course of your life. It is dropping the false self. There's no need to adopt a new character. Just settle gently into the awareness that you are. When someone chooses to be a mystic, they are choosing their natural self. Their very nature has taken over. The natural state of man is perfect awareness of God. This is mysticism. This is the search of the seeker to find this perfect awareness. The perfect awareness of God is what has been reported by the mystics through the ages, and is the search of all mankind. But it has always been here. It has always been with you, as the subtle, gentle awareness that you are. Mysticism is your natural state. It is who you are. When every mask is removed, when every layer of false self and false identity are removed, the world is full of mystics. Some are on the path, and some seem far removed from the path, but all, in their inner core, are seeking the peace of this awareness. After awakening, society demands that you adopt one of so many available characters. It demands that you fall into some sort of arrangement that it can understand. Even the word mystic can become a trap. If you adopt this character as just another mask, it is meaningless, even harmful. But if you've come to know yourself as a seeker, there is only one kind, and that is of the mystic. This is true religion. Become totally individual. The more Buddha, the more individual. Refuse every mask that society offers. Refuse every explanation to help make sense of your internal state beyond words. Be an individual. Live beyond words, in the wordless, in total love with existence. You need not drop out of society. You need not escape to the Himalayas. You need not accept any label or mask that society offers. You need only to return to your inner awareness. Mysticism is in your bones. It is not a costume that you wear. I have become enlightened through many different means. There are many different satoris. There are at least 112 ways to enlightenment. Few offer the experiential dimension like nadabrahma samadhi, or oneness with sound. All body sensations cease. You exit your body and become one with all sound. The yogis call this nadabrahma, the oneness of all sound throughout the universe, that everything in the universe is sound. There is still a subtle experiencer, but you are experiencing yourself as one, as sound. So you are one with the universe, but it is through the medium of sound. There is no separate self. You return through your ears, and the subtle nature of reality reemerges. But this experience, this observance of oneness, the seeing of the subtle experiencer beyond bodily sensation, leaves one totally transformed. The self becomes totally dissolved into the whole. They embrace a state of Sahaja Samadhi, natural unity with the whole. I was lucky enough to experience this nadabrahma samadhi myself. It is a state beyond words. I do not state this to lord it over you, only to demonstrate my determination that total dissolution of the self is possible. I have experienced it myself, and it has left me transformed. You too can become enlightened. I was once asleep, now I am awake. You too can become awake. This is my only message. The mind is still there, but through meditation you have developed a gap. In a satori you have encountered the no mind. Many times along the path you may have felt you have fallen. Pay this no attention. You are on the path. Focus on the no mind, and the path takes care of itself. Its emergence is subtle, but this subtle emergence will no doubt bring about enlightenment. Keep meditating. Stay on the path. Start noticing the mind. Then notice gaps in the mind, and meditate in these gaps in the mind. Simply watch the mind, when it is there, when it is not there, and soon, these gaps between thoughts will span 24 hours in a day. You may think, where did I go? But it is not you who left. It is the mind that left you. You are a single note in a grand symphony, yet you are the symphony itself. The symphony cannot exist without you, nor can you exist without the symphony. It is the dewdrop into the ocean into the dewdrop. These are all paradoxes to stir awakening. All paradoxes are simply devices for awakening. A person plays a single note in the absence of symphony. Then the note is the symphony unto itself. Is this not true? And is it really not just all the same note in different costumes that make up the symphony? It is all just one note. It is sound itself in all of its different costumes, the single beat of creation in its countless echoing forms. See this and be enlightened. You are a single note, but really you are a part with many notes and many rests, many silences, and everyone has their part in this symphony. The symphony is a strange symphony because no part is notated. It is all improvised. Those who are enlightened learn how to harmonize with the symphony. They conduct their own symphony, or simply their contribution is silence. But whatever the case, see this as a device for your awakening. If this one does not work, then try the next. But all are simply devices for your awakening. This is the truth, the pure awareness beyond words, your ignorance, your inner child. There is a truth beyond words. Search out that truth and awaken to your real eternal self. Then, a subtle harmony will naturally ring from within you. When you focus on no mind, the path takes care of itself. This is a mantra to help reduce anxiety. So repeat it with me 3 times. When you focus on no mind, the path takes care of itself. When you focus on no mind, the path takes care of itself. When you focus on no mind, the path takes care of itself. Now, think, no mind. Think, no mind. Think, no mind. No mind. No mind. Think, no mind. Think, no mind. Think, no mind. No mind. No mind. Repeat this several times in a meditative state. Remember, When you focus on the no mind, the path takes care of itself. So, think, no mind. Which frequency do you recommend? Whatever frequency is totally pure, coming from the stillness of the heart, emanating from the eternal self. I hope that's what you mean. Mysticism is total surrender to existence. It is completely yielding to the universe, to the cosmos as a whole. I trust existence completely. This is my philosophy. I simply trust. If it leads me to death, then it leads me to death. I trust even in death. If it leads me to suffering, then it leads me. But really, I cannot suffer. My innermost being, who I really am, cannot suffer. I can only endure. So the path of the mystic can look all sorts of ways. Some mystics can live very expensive lifestyles, and some mystics are beggars. It's not that one path is better than another, although one may seem more preferable. But you don't know that. A starving man, when he has food, that food will be more delicious than anything a rich man could ever afford. With a champagne and caviar budget, he still cannot afford a new tongue. He cannot adjust his cravings. He must go on a fast to ever enjoy a meal the same way a starving man does. So the path of the mystic can be all over the place, living lavishly one day, out on the street the next. I am reminded of Jesus as he talks about the children of the Spirit. They are like the wind, not seeing from where it is coming, nor where it is going. So shall it be with the children of the Spirit. Being a mystic is like being a cloud blown about by the wind. You are one with the wind. You are simply carried from place to place by it, changing directions, changing forms. It makes no sense from the ground, but there is a perfect intelligence to it. So it is with the mystic. A mystic may not make any sense to you, but to their own inner accord, they are perfect in their performance. They have not missed a beat. Don't be so bothered with attainment. Just be in a state of no mind or transcendental unawareness. Be in a state of ignorance, total ignorance. The path is initiated when the disciple finally realizes that they do not know. It is from this state of ignorance that all real knowledge is gained. And what is real knowledge? Real knowledge is of the self. It is what you have experienced to be true. Nothing else is real knowledge. You can throw everything else away. Only what you have experienced to be true is real knowledge. And even then, at the moment just before attaining, you have to throw even that away. It is like what Jesus said, you will have nothing, and even what you have will be taken from you. Krishna says something similar. He says, I will take everything from you so you cling to only me. So, do not be so troubled with whether or not you have attained, or in what direction you are going. Just be fully present in this moment now. People have too many repressed emotions, and those repressed emotions keep you from harmonizing with who you really are. How can you harmonize with something that is unexpressed? And so this is the nature of repressed emotions. They keep you from harmony. So focus on harmony, and focus on dissonance. Hear this moment now. Don't judge it. Simply be a listener. Simply be a watcher. It is beyond judgment that enlightenment happens, because enlightenment happens beyond the mind. It is only in a state of no mind that one can find it, and they find it indeed in a moment smaller than a raindrop hitting the surface of your hand. With such awareness, such pure awareness and innocent acceptance of the moment is enlightenment found. So, be first concerned with harmony, and then simply become a listener. Listen from a state of no mind. and watch from a place of no judgment, and allow Sahaja Samadhi to blossom naturally in whatever moment nature accords. It may be when you are on the freeway listening to a good song. It could be in a moment of quiet awakening next to a stream, anywhere, anytime. So the watchers for the kingdom of heaven are ready and alert, for the moment could come at any time. Remove the word God from your vocabulary. Simply replace the word with existence, and you'll get the same result. Where are you? Are you in a room or sitting outside? Either way, you are connected to existence. Any way you look for God, you will keep reducing to smaller and smaller bits and be left without explanation. When you were connected to God before, what were you connected to? Was it not existence in some form? So then you see, what is your definition of God? Does it not include all of existence? If it does not, what aspect of existence is without God? But enough of that. Simply remove the word God from your vocabulary. And what do you see? Do you not see all of existence rushing to fill the vacuum? And would the effect not be the same? If you pray to God, is it not existence that answers your prayers one way or the other? And so when you say you trust God completely, can you not also say that you trust existence completely? And so before, when you were connected to God, to what aspect of existence were you connected, if not to existence as a whole? So enough of God. What is happening in this moment right now? What is this all about? Can you not see that everything is happening in an attempt to connect with love? And what do all the great sages throughout the ages say of God? Do they not say that God is love? That the entire existence is happening in an attempt to connect with love, to connect with God? And so remove the word God from your vocabulary, and suddenly you see God clearly for everything he is. All of existence itself racing in an attempt to connect with love, the ultimate of all existence. So, when you are connected to existence itself, what need is there for the word God? Is God experienced in a word? Or does enlightenment happen in a place beyond the mind? God happens in a place beyond the mind. This is what Jesus meant when he said, I am going where you cannot come. And if you knew me, you would know my Father, because it is my Father who sent me. He is going to a place beyond mind, and it is there that one finds God. So if one is having trouble connecting with God, remove God and go beyond your mind, and so find him there, beyond the word, and instead in the experience of God itself. Remove the word God from your vocabulary. Simply replace the word with existence, and you'll get the same result. Where are you? Are you in a room or sitting outside? Either way, you are connected to existence. Any way you look for God, you will keep reducing to smaller and smaller bits and be left without explanation. When you were connected to God before, what were you connected to? Was it not existence in some form? So then you see, what is your definition of God? Does it not include all of existence? If it does not, what aspect of existence is without God? But enough of that. Simply remove the word God from your vocabulary. And what do you see? Do you not see all of existence rushing to fill the vacuum? And would the effect not be the same? If you pray to God, is it not existence that answers your prayers one way or the other? And so when you say you trust God completely, can you not also say that you trust existence completely? And so before, when you were connected to God, to what aspect of existence were you connected, if not to existence as a whole? So enough of God. What is happening in this moment right now? What is this all about? Can you not see that everything is happening in an attempt to connect with love? And what do all the great sages throughout the ages say of God? Do they not say that God is love? That the entire existence is happening in an attempt to connect with love, to connect with God? And so remove the word God from your vocabulary, and suddenly you see God clearly for everything he is. All of existence itself racing in an attempt to connect with love, the ultimate of all existence. So, when you are connected to existence itself, what need is there for the word God? Is God experienced in a word? Or does enlightenment happen in a place beyond the mind? God happens in a place beyond the mind. This is what Jesus meant when he said, I am going where you cannot come. And if you knew me, you would know my Father, because it is my Father who sent me. He is going to a place beyond mind. And it is there that one finds God. So if one is having trouble connecting with God, remove God and go beyond your mind. And so find him there, beyond the word, and instead in the experience of God itself. I am not a hypnotist. My work is not to put you to sleep and miraculously trick you into a better life. My work is to wake you up into yourself, to open your eyes inward to the infinity that exists in yourself. My work is to wake you up and point your eyes inward to the artistic masterpiece that is yourself, to point your ears inward to the delicate chorus of your heart. Everything that's happening is happening in an attempt to connect with love. There's nothing happening for any other reason than this. Once you see this, a doorway to infinite love opens in your heart. Can you not see that God would, in every case, allow one more opportunity to connect with love? This is mercy in its entirety. It need not be endless, because everyone and everything does eventually connect with love. Once you see this, infinite love and mercy in its entirety, a new doorway, a doorway to infinite peace opens in your heart. So there are two doorways that open, the doorway of infinite love and the doorway of infinite peace, that open with this simple understanding that everything that's happening is happening in an attempt to connect with love. Everything I speak from the heart. In the heart is the most beautiful mystery of the universe. In the heart, one can discover those subtle insights that bridge you to the divine. One can bridge the heart and the mind, and so become the total individual. And so I only speak from the heart and practice no mind in an attempt to stir a subtle awakening into one's own heart. Make nothing happen. It is much easier to make something happen than to make nothing happen. Making nothing to happen requires a sophisticated mastery, and more to happen than any something you could make to happen. To stir up a great something that is to be the stage for your nothing requires a sophisticated mastery, no doubt. It is in the art of the wait, the pause, right before something is about to happen, that requires tremendous mastery. That moment of ultimate potentiality must be held, and this requires a master. It is in mastering this moment that the art of nothingness is produced. It is in the build-up to the moment before ultimate climax, and holding it in a masterful wait, and holding it for some time until the mind settles and becomes no mind. And from there, Sahaja Samadhi, pure beingness, the inner child, is reborn in pure bliss. This is the art of the wait that produces Sahaja Samadhi. What is Sahaja Samadhi? Sahaja Samadhi is the inner awakening that every child is born with. It is the natural awakening to that inner child, to that childlike sense of wonder. This natural awakening is beyond the mind. It exists only in the subtle no mind. Does a child bother to ask why it is playing? Or is the child so wrapped up in the game that the child has completely lost even their sense of identity? They are the game itself. This is Sahaja Samadhi, to be so wrapped up in a moment, but still utterly of no mind. Not to be lost, but to be utterly and completely found in a moment, but still without self, without identity. Instead, simply a child, a full childlike being, wrapped fully in amazement and wonder at the beauty and the glory of the creation around them, completely wrapped in mystery, and to be okay with that mystery, like a child. Sahaja Samadhi is this inner awakening that everything is going to be okay, a complete and total acceptance of existence. Pure bliss is the result, yet with more zest and energy for life than ever before. It is the realization that you are but a child, and have always been a child, and will always remain a child. You can simply float as a white cloud, in harmony with existence, in full flow with the river of life, in full harmony with the Tao. Sahaja Samadhi is that rare flowering, not that the flower is so rare. No, in fact, everyone has it. It's just that the event of flowering itself is so rare. It takes a master to coordinate it into enlightenment. However, there are glimpses of samadhi everywhere in life. Shiva points to 112 different ways to enlightenment. It's not that the moment is so rare. It's that the moment leading to enlightenment requires a master. But this awakening is so subtle, so complex, that it is beyond even a master. Only existence itself can bring you there. So, to attain, one simply drops their ego in the going about life, and they attain. Meditation becomes so natural that they are constantly in a state of meditation. It is then that they can simply drop their ego and so attain. It is so perfect, so natural. Anyone can do it. Yet it remains the most difficult thing because it is the easiest thing. Just let yourself go, like a child playing a game. Become one with the game, and so awaken to the innermost core of your being. An innocent child who is simply excited to play the game. I don't talk about regrets. You regret something that happened in the past. It does not exist. The past does not exist. Why talk about something that does not exist? Only the present moment matters. Stay in the present moment, and there is no regret. There is no past. For what will you worry in the past? This is going nowhere. All your problems are there in the past, and the future has not happened yet. For what do you worry? And in the present, there is no ego. There is only mystery. Regret happens when you think you know better than existence. I regret nothing. Even that which I would regret, I do not. Because that would be insisting that I know better than existence, that I know better than mystery. I know myself totally. I trust existence completely. In this mystery, I find my being. And so where is there any regret? When you trust completely, you trust totally, and you are secure in the present moment. There is no past. There is no future. In the Matrix, the potential holds up the spoon for Neo and explains that the trick to bending the spoon is to understand that there is no spoon. There is no past. It does not exist. So in the first place, what are you regretting? In the second place, Who is the person regretting? If there is nothing to regret, but more importantly, no one to regret, that is to say, no one to do the regretting, then there is no regret. And in the present moment, there is no ego, only beingness. So dropping your regret is as easy as dropping your ego, which is as easy as simply being fully in the present moment. This is where the action of life happens, and where Sahaja Samadhi can happen in you. Don't see anyone as lower or higher than yourself. This is a great illusion, that there is anyone lower or higher than yourself. No, in fact, no one is actually lower or higher than anybody else in any meaningful way. We are all created equal. Perhaps one has a law degree and another has been in the military. Is the man with the law degree better? Or the one in the military better? No, not at all. Both have simply played a game to the best of their ability and have arrived where they have arrived. One would do better in a courtroom as a lawyer, the other on the battlefield as a soldier. So in their compartments, people have rankings. But spiritually, there are no ranks. When someone asked the Buddha, "Who are you?" he responded, "I belong to no rank." And so it is spiritually. We are all brothers and sisters, monks and priests alike. We belong to no rank. We are all sons and daughters of the Most High. So there is no one lower or higher than you. Only friends, and those who are set against you. And even then, these can be friends. Try to see everyone in this reality as a friend. Everything is happening in an attempt to connect with love. So there are only friends. There may be disagreements and misunderstandings, but really all among friends. I'm not trying to mislead you. Many will persecute you. Many will say horrible things about you. But even then, do not lovers quarrel? No one is lower or higher than yourself, and everyone is a friend. If you can live with this understanding, a true awakening will happen in you, and you will start to blossom in a way you never imagined before. Problems that once seemed insurmountable now only require a phone call or two. People you never imagined would listen to you are hearing you out on your concerns, because you see, they are in on the secret too, both ways, from both sides. They know that you are not actually lower or higher than them. They are compelled as your brother or sister. You see no more people above you and people beneath you. You see only friends. And so the world looks to you now as a friend, not someone above or below. When you see everyone as even and as equal, they see you as their even and as their equal. It is then that you can harmonize with people in your reality, and you can make things happen, or make nothing happen, like never before. Do you observe children, how they can casually drift to sleep without any preparation at all? How do they so casually drift to sleep? It's not that the mind of a child is without worry or without frustration, but the child has not learned to repress these emotions. The child still feels them fully. The child does not judge whether or not the emotion is righteous. The child simply feels the emotion completely. The child does not pay concern to what effect that emotion will have on the child later. In fact, the emotion will have no effect on the child later. The child will experience the emotion totally in the moment and then simply let it go. The child does not know any better. The child only knows that something has happened that has caused it pain, and now it is going to fully feel that pain. Then the child simply lets it go, like it was never holding on to the issue in the first place. Adults are very clever about their frustration. They bottle it for the gym, or they rage online about things totally unrelated to their root pain. Adults have all sorts of clever ways of mitigating and repressing emotions, and adults have trouble sleeping. Children go right to sleep. Nothing is a barrier. At any moment, they can simply drop, and they can also rise. A child can snap into alertness much quicker than an adult. Sannyasins are different, but for most adults this is true. They simply cannot wake up the way they used to. A child wakes and is full of delight and energy for the day. The day is full of opportunity and discovery and mystery, as though they have endless coins to the arcade of life. Adults wake with a sense of dread, like they are the ones running the arcade, and every machine is in need of repair. Every bone aches and every muscle is sore from the day before. These are the repressed emotions weighing on you. It is not you who needs rest. It is your conscience and your body, which is tired from carrying around all of these repressed emotions. Get into some dynamic meditation and let your emotions out. Let yourself become raw again, and sleep will come naturally to you. One gains mastery by going deep into experience, by going deeply into many things, as deep as possible into as many things as possible. The difference between an amateur and a professional is that amateurs make an attempt. Professionals simply accomplish. I'm reminded of my time at the pizza factory. One can learn a great deal about pizza if one were to simply make a pizza. But to make 1,000 pizzas in a single day is something different altogether. In making a single pizza, you will encounter problems that you never would if you never bothered to make a pizza. But to make 1,000 pizzas in a day, for years, I know things about pizza that you will never know. I speak a sort of pizza language. It would take me some time to teach you just the vocabulary. I have gone deep into pizza. What am I to do? It is my business. And so a master makes all things his business. He dips his toes into everything, but goes deep into all he can. He is aware of things that others are not aware of. He too has his own internal language, and it's hard to communicate these ideas with words. You have to be in the studio to really understand, but you cannot enter his studio. You would need to go as deep into as many experiences as the master. Otherwise, communication is limited. This is why we commune around meditation, and we go deep into meditation. This is why we turn every aspect of our lives into meditation, and bring meditation into everything that we do. This is the only way to secure mastery, to ensure that we are going deep into things. This is the way of peace and of love and of harmony, that you will bring meditation into every aspect of your life and to go deep in total surrender to the experience every time, or as much as you can. This brings about the awakened being. This brings about the master. This is why life is worth living anyway. So drink up as much of the experience as you can in deep meditation and laughter. One should be filled with gratitude for life. One should be grateful that one has woken up in the morning, grateful for the oxygen coming into your lungs, grateful for the birds singing their song. Gratitude is one of the highest forms of prayer. Praying is not begging or asking for something. Prayer is pure gratitude for what is. You are simply holding a prayer, humming a song of gratitude for all of existence. In every moment, your heart is filled with song of thank you to all of existence. Gratitude is the natural state of the Buddha, of the Enlightened One. It may be something that has to be practiced at first, but once you attain, gratitude is the inner transformation. Your anxiety is transformed to gratitude. Your shame is transformed to love. Your hypocrisy is transformed to unity. And for all of these transformations, you are grateful. This is the primary song of your heart. Inside, you are like a bird, singing for all of creation. Gratitude is meditation. Meditate on your gratitude, and let your gratitude bring you to a meditative state. It is being silently here, now, in total surrender and utter acceptance. When you feel the sense that existence has delivered you far more than you could ever return, gratitude becomes your natural state. See clearly that existence has delivered far more than you could ever return, and be filled with immense gratitude for this. Thank you, existence. Thank you for creating me and guiding me and taking care of my every need. True gratitude is unaddressed. It simply permeates through your very being. It's not that you are not grateful for specific things, but you are overwhelmed by the number of things for which you are grateful. You could never make a list, so it becomes your natural state. Gratitude and grace is the standard preset of all the great masters and all those who live masterfully in joy. The Buddhas, the seekers, all must be filled with tremendous gratitude, and through this, the whole world will come to notice that something is different. I don't want you to be at peace. I want you to be in love. I want you to be in total rebellion. Love is a rebellion. Meditation is a rebellion. True religion is total rebellion. Rebel against the ways of this world, against its superficialness, against its schizophrenia. Live totally in love. This is rebellion. No, I do not want you to be at peace. I want awakening to stir in your bones. I want you to feel that there is something not right, that there is something still aching for the beyond. I want you to feel this call from the beyond to the beyond. The peace of the beyond is beyond words, and it is beyond the logic of the mind, the logic of society. To live in this peace is total rebellion. It seems paradoxical, but one may cause dissonance with one note while they harmonize with another note. The dissonance, the harmony, are both a matter of perspective, and so it is with love. You cannot be at peace and live without love, yet you live in a society that has put love in the passenger seat, in the back seat, on the back burner, something we'll get to later. To live with love as your primary force is a total act of rebellion. Nothing could be more rebellious than living from your true nature, pure awareness, in total harmony with existence, in complete love with all of creation. Nothing could be more rebellious than this. And so, I'm not calling you to a life of peace. I'm showing you the way to pure love. Stop thinking that something is going wrong. Nothing is going wrong. Everything is happening according to plan. It may not be happening according to your plan, but everything is happening according to plan. There is an intelligence built into this system. And because of this intelligence, there is evolution. Everything is evolving as quickly as possible to a state of perfection. Just remove yourself for a second. Just take a step back and look at it. Observe it. And you will see with crystal clarity that everything is evolving. The trouble is in trusting this evolution. You may feel tempted to poke it in this way so that it will go faster, or prod it in this way so that it hurts less. You try to adjust this process of evolution to suit you and to make you more comfortable. The universe grows through discomfort. It is when you are uncomfortable that growth can happen. I am reminded of my time at the cannabis factory. If one were to simply make a cannabis plant comfortable, it would simply shoot straight up like a corn stalk. We use lights and they cover a certain area. All of this light would be wasted if we simply let the plant shoot straight up. No, we need to make better use of the space. And we're limited in the number of plants that we can grow. And anyways, the plant wants to be a bush. It wants to be a tree. It doesn't want to be a single shoot. It wants to become a tree, but it needs some help. So we cause the plant discomfort. We fim the plant. We cut the plant right at the blossom, so it makes multiple shoots. We bend and crimp the plant, the limbs of the plant, so that they stay low and develop more shoots. All of this must be quite uncomfortable for the plant, but in the end, we cultivate a tree, a gorgeous cannabis tree with hundreds of stalks rather than a single shoot with a single stalk. Humans are the same way. They need to go through discomfort so that they can grow into the beautiful tree that they are. A great master is like a mango tree. It must be trimmed year after year so that it does not produce fruit. It must become as big as possible before producing fruit. You are like a mango tree. Just take a step back and see the great work that evolution is doing for you. See that everything is happening as quickly as possible, with as great a force as possible. In this realization, there is a peace that comes about you. Your inner self can finally relax. Every minor hassle is for your evolution. Every minor or even major problem is simply an unavoidable step in the evolution as the whole. You can relax a little when you realize this. There is nothing you can do to speed it up or improve it. You can only master yourself. So welcome the discomfort, welcome the anxiety, and let the anxiety transform into excitement for the new. Whatever new that comes your way is good. The new is the cutting edge of spirituality. Whatever is new is the cutting edge. So live on the cutting edge. However uncomfortable at first, live there on the cutting edge. This is the only thing slowing your evolution, your refusal to live on the cutting edge. So let a blossom become plucked and let a branch get bent. The great gardener, existence, knows what she is doing, and she is working as quickly as possible to produce the biggest and best tree. Can you identify the child within? The one that has remained unchanged since the age of 5? If you can identify it and return to it, it really is that easy. Simply identify the child within you and return to it. Everything else you do is peeling off layers of conditioning so that you can identify and return without residue. It may take some time, but go on watching the mind and keep peeling until there is no difference between yourself and the pure witness. Simply identify with that child that is still with you and return to it. Attaining to Sahaja Samadhi, enlightenment, nirvana, really is that simple. Identify the inner child. To live this out purely and fully is the ultimate in spirituality. Simply identify the child and return without residue. I am just here to help people be who they really are and dissuade them from being who they're really not. I'm here to help pull back those layers of ego that keep you from who you really are. You never really see anyone for who they are. You see who they are in a moment, for a moment. Mostly, you are seeing what they are not. I'm here to uncover those layers of ego and expose who you really are. In the kingdom of God, you already have everything you need. As you are right now, you have everything you need spiritually. There is nowhere to go. There is nothing to gain. It is here, now, inside you, inside your very being. You are rich, totally rich in the kingdom of heaven, and you can only store up more treasure. There is no crime, there are no thieves, and you are richer than a king. In fact, you are a king. You are sharing in the inheritance of God. As a slave of God, you are a king. When you drop the ego and discover the inner child, your outward persona is based on immense compassion, a gentle, loving kindness. You no longer use the mind for gain and for achievement, but rather out of compassion, and in service of mercy for all those who suffer. The greater the ego that is dropped, the greater the compassion for those who have still yet to drop it. Not all who become enlightened become bodhisattvas. Some are arhats. It takes some striving to be a guru, but that striving is done out of compassion, not ego. The deeper you go into meditation, the closer you get to God, until finally there is no separation. Not to say that you are God, but He is in the seat next to yours. His shoulder is touching yours. God is that close. No separation. A dog just simply wants to go for a walk. Just simply be fed. Be cuddled. A dog doesn't need for much. If your ego was like a dog, I would not bother with it. As it is, the human body does not need much. It needs to be fed. It needs to go for a walk. It needs some amount of snuggling. The body cannot survive without a small amount of affection. But the ego makes enormous demands. It demands that you be better than someone else. A dog makes no such demand. The ego demands that you not waste your time for a moment on anything except pleasure. The ego cannot wait. A dog can wait. A dog spends most of its life simply waiting. But the ego cannot wait, cannot stand to lose, cannot stand to be wrong for more than a second. If your ego were as simple as a dog, I would not bother. But the ego is extraordinarily complex. It is the demands of the ego that are destroying the planet. It is the demands of the ego that bring inner destruction. Before enlightenment, I existed in a primarily wordless state. I knew words and could function with words. I had a robust vocabulary for someone my age as a student, always. But they didn't have much mass for me. They didn't hold very much sway. For me, these are little devices that are used to communicate, to transmit, and then they are discarded. Do you know what a cipher is? All of these words are totally interchangeable. The letters, the numbers even, everything. They are just devices to serve higher communication. There is some truth that language develops around biology, but this has to do primarily with the more animal level of the brain. The words used in higher reasoning are all interchangeable. They are symbols for concepts with higher meaning, nothing more, and they could all be interchanged. It is the concept that was transmitted that is important. So words did not carry much mass for me, and I existed in a primarily wordless state. I reached enlightenment through music, which is a way. I simply came to see the entire universe as music, and I was one with this grand symphony. The state existed completely separately from words. Everyone, when they become enlightened, is an arhat for a moment, completely blissed out from the experience. But then, seemingly, you are offered a choice. My choice was to move with compassion and do my best to leave not one behind. This is the path of the bodhisattva. It's not that it's more noble. It's that my bliss depends on me actively working out my compassion. Arhats don't have this dilemma. I do. But it is solved readily. You simply move from a place of compassion in all things going forward. The trouble for me was in how to share this bliss with others, how to help others reach enlightenment, because I simply had no words. And where before I existed in a primarily wordless state, now it was a completely wordless state. Simply everything became one. When I would drink milk, I felt like I was drinking myself. When I even thought something negative about someone else, it felt like I was damaging myself. There was simply no separation between anything in the universe. But my wordless state became a handicap in my journey as a bodhisattva. So for me, I had to develop a deep relationship with words. I had to get some mass on them. They had to develop right and immense meaning. The bridge between arhat and guru is built through striving, no doubt, and my striving has to do with words. The concepts I have mastered. The art now is in the delivery, the words. and the journey, the silence between them inspires. Keep these words and let them rejuvenate you. Let them purify you. Let them help you discover your inner child. When you discover the inner child, there will be no more words. There will be no need for words. There will be no words. Until then, keep with these words and allow them to be the bricks under your feet for a period of time. There is no hurry. There is only alertness, for the moment of dropping can happen anytime. Grief cannot be worked out in the mind. Grief does not exist in the mind. It exists in the heart, and so it has to be worked out physically. Have you ever seen a 2-year-old rap? He will sing gibberish in time, like he's really rapping. All in time, in rhythm, just like a real rapper, but pure gibberish. The child has no idea what it is doing. He is just mimicking rappers that he's seen before, trying to look the same, sound the same, do the same thing, but it's all gibberish. The child has no idea what he's doing. He just knows that when he does this, when he exhibits this behavior, he is rewarded with positive attention. He is playing a role, playing a character, playing dress up, wearing a costume. But the child is just mimicking. You are that 2-year-old child. Your persona, your personality is just years and years of this mimicry piled on. When you started, you had no idea what you were doing. You were just mimicking. But then the mind got involved, and the mimicry deepened and intensified. The ego gets involved, and now you are attached to the mimicry, attached to the imitation, as though it is the real self. The entire world is insane. If I were to deconstruct your personality, we would discover that your entire outward persona is based on mimicry and imitation. You pulled this aspect of yourself from your dad. You got this from your mom. This one scene, this one character in this one movie meant so much to you that you mimicked it. You imitated it and mimicked it so effectively and so naturally and for such a period of time that it became you. You are simply playing dress up, wearing a costume. Simply drop the dress up, drop the costume, and recognize the source of it all. All this ego tension and all of this drama is from outside of you. Inside, the pure child, the one simply waiting, the one without character or costume, arises without effort, without mimicry, a pure soul waiting to be discovered. The goal is to become the watcher and drop the mimicker. Notice the mind and question it. Put it to the test, and you will see that almost every aspect of your personality and your persona are just layers of mimicry. Watch it closely and take notice, and drop the mimicking mind. Stand naked as a child, and a totally new person emerges. You may be very surprised who you really are in the presence of others when the costume comes off. If you can remain naked in the presence of others, there is no more powerful force in the universe. People may be afraid of you for simply standing naked as they remain in their costumes. Jesus says, "Let your light shine before others." This is the light of nakedness that he was referring to. A subtle child in a crowd of celebrated intellectuals, but with a genius that has no competitor. People may feel very threatened by you and become upset in your presence. But if you can remain naked, an entirely different person emerges with more power than anything your ego could have ever mustered before. The whole world is insane because the world cannot drop the mind and it cannot drop the ego. The world has used the sophistication of the mind to prop the ego up and make it seem like it is real, but it is not real. Only the pure, natural state of awareness, only the pure witness is real. Everything else is a social construct to make the ego important, to make the unreal real. And so the whole world is insane. Only by unearthing the subtle witness, the one who watches without judging, can the world be made sane. It is only through understanding, immense understanding, that the water may begin to boil. A little bit of effort put into noticing the mind and noticing the ego over a little bit of time will make it possible for the inner child to emerge. And it is only then that enlightenment can happen. When you are without mind and without ego, it is only under these conditions that the world can be made sane. Otherwise, the mind, in service of the ego, will render each individual and the whole society insane.